We've been discussing the new Lenovo handhelds quite a bit on this channel recently, and it's for good reason. We are finally seeing the release of another PC handheld that isn't the Steam Deck released with SteamOS, which is incredibly exciting. But that really does beg the question, should you wait for one of these Lenovo devices to come out? Or should you just buy a Steam Deck now? We have gotten some more information about performance and what to expect out of these devices, but honestly, for the layman, they might not honestly see any difference between getting a Legion Go S with a Z2 Go chip or some custom solution found in the Steam Deck. They might not notice a difference in terms of performance depending on what kinds of games they play. Is the extra performance found on the Legion Go S worth it over the price tag inconvenience of the Steam Deck? This is an early sort of discussion about whether or not you should buy it given what we know currently. I'll make a further deeper discussion on once these devices fully release in February, but until then, we'll have this early sort of thought experiment, maybe help some of you undecided people make a decision. First, let's dive into overall build quality. The Steam Deck has either an OLED or a standard LCD screen. The OLED variant does have a 90Hz refresh rate, which is very nice, but you need to at least pay around $450 to $550 for that privilege. The base model Steam Deck is still LCD only, so realistically, if you want the best improved experience, you're going to want to spend the extra coin on the OLED, pushing it even closer to the price of the Legion Go S when that releases with SteamOS being around $500. And that's going to come with a 1080p 120Hz IPS type display, which is going to be amazing. On top of that, it's going to be significantly larger, being around 8 inches in comparison to the Steam Deck 7. The Steam Deck uses a custom AMD solution, but in all honesty, when it comes to performance, the Steam Deck is the weakest PC handheld still being sold today. And that's not for bad or for worse, it's just not the fastest thing out there anymore, and it still holds up pretty well to this day. As long as you're comfortable dropping down the resolution to 720p and sticking to low settings, you can pretty much play most of what you want to play that is available on Steam. And if you make the switch to Windows, you're able to enjoy many popular esports titles with pretty decent performance. The Steam Deck offers dual touchpads for general browsing on websites or using it to play certain games in Steam, which I've never done that personally, but I've heard is incredibly convenient for those who play those kinds of games. I think Civilization 6 is one of those kinds of games people really like having a mouse for. I don't know. I don't play those kinds of games. But it's important to delineate that the Legion Go S doesn't have one at least as large as the Steam Decks. It's very similar to the ones you find on the GPD Win devices, those very tiny trackpads that are even smaller than your thumbprint. But once you get used to it, they do end up being pretty good. So some people might be okay with that drawback, especially if you're using it in SteamOS where it's not too necessary unless you buy one of the Windows variants. In terms of performance, we don't have any definitive numbers for the Z2 Go quite yet, but judging by the specs, from what it looks like, it's a cut-down version of the 6800U found in older PC handhelds, utilizing the older 680M integrated graphics, which still better than the Steam Deck, but are quite a bit older and less advanced than what we currently see found in the Legion Go, which has the Z1 Extreme equipped with a 780M, and the Legion Go 2 coming out later this year with the 890M. Which are significantly faster than the previous generation 780M, and it's going to be even more noticeably faster than the older 680M, which first released all the way back in 2022, pretty much at the same time as the original Steam Deck. So it's pretty fair to say we've had a decent amount of graphical and CPU and architectural improvements over the last 3 years than what we're basically getting in the Legion Go S, which is 3-year-old technology wrapped up in a package, cut down for cost, and sold to us as a new product, which isn't always a bad thing, but it does make it feel a little bit more scummy when they're trying to dress it all up as this is a brand new, never before seen thing when we all know what it is. I don't intend on sounding negative about this product. Because genuinely, it is incredibly exciting, but it's just important to know what you are buying. Because there are some downsides to going with an older architecturally designed product. Yes, this might be a whole new thing, but it is functionally a 3-year-old processor cut down. And therefore, we don't have any of the modern advancements we've gotten. This device won't have a 80 watt-hour battery found in Legion Go 2. It will have a pretty standard 50 watt-hour battery with the same pretty okay to bad battery life we've expected from a lot of these PC handhelds for a long time now. So it's not amazing in how this thing is going to probably function and be able to be used, because it's just essentially what we've gotten used to, just sold at significantly lower prices. Which, depending on which model you buy, this device might not end up being all that cheap. When you buy the spec'd out version that's coming out in February, that one's going to cost you $750. $50 less than a current generation RG Ally X, which at least would perform the same or better, probably, than this device. So it's pretty fair to say that it might not be a terribly great value once you start buying those more premium, more expensive, more spec'd out models of this device. Where you see the most compelling value is at that $500 base Steam version, where you get the most essential things: 512 gigabytes of storage, 16 gigabytes of RAM, either a Z1 Extreme or Z2 Go chip at some point, which honestly, getting the Z1 Extreme equipped version would be significantly better if what we're speculating is true. So take that with a grain of salt. I would say wait till you make a definitive decision until full reviews come out. But judging by the numbers and what we projected with simulated performance benchmarks, it's not going to be awe-inspiring, but it's not going to be bad either. It's just going to be more of what we currently have. Now, taking into consideration the Steam Deck, I think it might be a pretty decent value, especially if you compare it against the base 500 tier model found coming out later this year in May with SteamOS. Yes, that is going to be a significantly better comparison for the Legion Go S. And going forward, I'm going based on the assumption you're waiting for that one. The Steam Deck doesn't make a great case to purchase it when that device comes out, because if you buy it today, you'll enjoy the Steam Deck a lot. It's a great device and it's hard to go wrong. But once that new Legion Go S with SteamOS comes out in May, it's gonna be a way harder thing to justify, because it's just going to be more powerful. It's going to be a very similar overall experience, and I guess the only downside to it is that it's not OLED, or it has the 2 massive touchpads, which, depending on your use case, you may or may not need. And I'm not saying it's lights out for the Steam Deck once the Legion Go S with SteamOS fully releases, but honestly, I might shift my recommendation to that one if people are looking for a better than the Steam Deck experience, but with SteamOS, because currently the closest thing we can achieve is some level of compatibility on an RG Ally, which some people may or may not like. I personally actually really like the way the Legion Go S looks. The more rounded nature of it might feel significantly more ergonomic in the hands than the more geometric and angled what you see in the RG Ally. It's just softer on the hands, and having a significantly larger screen with 120Hz variable refresh rate might seriously be an amazing value for most people. I would love to hear what you guys think. Are you excited for the SteamOS version of the Legion Go S? Is that what you've been waiting for? Do you have a Steam Deck and you're looking for an upgrade, but you want to stay within the confines of SteamOS? I would love to hear what you guys think about this down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the other social media garbage down below, and last but not least, have a wonderful day.